Play golf at all? Do you? Team has a lot. Yeah, about 11 or 12. Trying to get a little bit better. Lorenzo Alexander joins us. Good, so you love living there? It's an amazing great place for a tired out. Isn't it? Yeah. And a lot of training facilities too, right? It's that's a lot. That everybody. What do we hear from us?
I get both sides nuts.
So later topics next. If we had all of it, they need to comply. That changed thing out hours. How about it? Like a deal. Don't fuck really. I still that. It's really that question. So they put for her and really got that. It's 311. And you know, the system is can do all of it. And why everybody else? It's on this bond. You have exactly this. It's going to be. I was thinking. I guess it's sorry. I see this going to be another link list, but I will for it. Yeah. That's one. All right, we're live from Radio Row. It's Wednesday. We got a monster show lined up here today. Marcus Allen's going to join us. Tim Brown. I get to open it up with Lorenzo Alexander, former dog of the linebacker. Great player who played for the Silver and Black and so many other teams. Good to see you again. How are you? That's why we got you leaving all the pressure on the technical weather quits. So it's summer. So I got up today and I got officials in that area. And it felt like it was in Maui or Vegas. It just felt great. And that makes a difference with the atmosphere. I was for sure. It's big. I mean, I feel the same thing. I walk over here and I'm starting to spend. What I love about your career is one of the you, it's players, linebackers like that. That's your career went up. You both most all of that. What do you what how is that training, better team, better coaching? What because I'm so looking for some kind of real straight is playing with someone just while my athleticism. She doesn't you don't have this big note. They never it wasn't go turn around. She had found everything my fault. All those type of guys that in me had an impact on my career. Here, in 2016 when Rick Ryan walked on the hand there, but all my skills to run. So understand on the other side of the ball. I mean, that's for sure. And really set things up. I'm not lost there. 216 and team. And so I am saying my second football, like you was playing, supposed they dominated. It's an incredible story that you go from playing as a bigger player on the Bluebirds flying and understanding that. You mentioned Mike Waffle, I know him really well. But what's the coach who the person that said, look, you want to stay in this league or you want to be an NFL player long term, you're going to have to fish. So it's really sense. Yeah, so it's really speaking. Everybody would get from spending the plan in your 3 years. But we can be in a region team league, like, so nothing wants to He brought me in Alabama. He did thing one I want to player. He was a specimen with it, he was. And so I'm like, okay, I was already worked down on third. If I get in. Then I started begging my Danny Smith, great special teams coach for this for a long time, Washington, Buffalo, really he been staying right, special teams. So we started now. Special teams, I did, teams. That's why I made my program. Doing those type of things. So I had to figure out a way to
Honestly,
find out value for myself, but that's value, bigger value. I'm taking a special team. And allow me to work about meetings, about opportunities. So
Lorenzo Alexander's our guest. Take me to the later chapter and why it was so short.
because I don't know. That's a lot of things that go on in that. So I was actually coming off of Liz Frank. So I was in Arizona. Come up on Liz Frank. I had some things in training camp while I was playing. Whose area installed, they thought I was a case. I say, right here, so they get the cook. They actually took me after we played Oakland that year. And I said, well, you're talking about reading tea leaves. I thought, I'll totally be cut because I wasn't a cat and did a first song. And I go, come on. So I go from here. It took it to primarily Brad Seaman would bring me in. He called him and I dropped that first. You know what I mean? So I was but he's a great lunch. This graduate made out this team. Like really great to have each team. Right to all the guys like Storm Phoenix was.
That's all. I got you. I got you.
My hair is right. Get a really good deal. That took him out to try to tell him, and this is why football, I know the best you and any time I'll tell him. But you say that's not a change. They said they really trusted
Gotcha.
out there, even on Sunday.
Gotcha.
And when they did, to the end of the year, right. And so Greg was going through some transition, and they didn't.
And it's fine.
Exactly. So I knew it. They didn't also hurt somebody. They didn't see. It's their picture.
The mistake is anyone else to really designing my different.
And Rick said one of me is a travel trailer and for
That was my first
something and visually always
no. I was trying when I was even bad time. I was talking with my haircut. I'm like, I look like, well, kids got us enough. It's like saying, like, go back like grass.
My first thing out be the same slaughter. Right. I was sometimes getting very good.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Was a grass. Most 13 separate time, most time.
Nice.
So what? And so it all the great stuff I had skate fitting and I was
Yeah, this one is fun. It's good, but it's really.
I do that. So
Lorenzo Alexander's our guest. So it's time to take your explorers. Your greatest experience academically, Lorenzo like Cal, lifestyle with Cal, Oakland right there, the bridge to get over to San Francisco. What you like about the college, it's very
was the big story. Yeah, Texas the first year we turned out. That's probably one of the first guys that was trying to generate style. But making us yeah, we restaurant slave where it's God that's going to be all right. It's in having a big program. I think once in the 1 million look till to basketball to be on the planet. Changing the culture.
Yeah, now.
Yeah,
Jack's on radio pro, so 6 months. I lost it to the very big state.
Smell on the top right off the head on smell player and his kind of that's something that's on to hell of a that's a hell of a break.
I got this information.
And so they're making the minutes right now. I just know that it's the standard day.
Tell us about Super Baskets and Pulse. It's something I know you're really passionate about. Tony Duncan's been the national spokesperson.
Experience, yeah. Team was prepared by Gary. You should learn here something. So basically, all this game through us, the and families, and we looked at two and looked as we parked in the backwards in the track. His last time. Some man opened the it's told him, journal, I was here, parents, writing many people, they say 6 drops and more. For the anxiety, feeling, everything, daily, So imagine you guys go he's terribly nice, fast, and run for them. So in those room, like things and tears, so you in your body. Well, I don't think that is one which that's the feelings and terribly. These kids are weird. They people can feel their hand or jam their happens. It's an integral this time. So it could be only that you're running down. I think the man will go. Children know that. Like, I know it's not what it's all here. Yeah, it's so in future. That's how
Last one for our radar audience and our global audience. The Raiders are going to do it. It's the big thing. Most likely, those that are quarterback out of Louisiana, there's Jetty and now is what we're talking about. Trying to ask you how quickly the team can turn it around because I saw the Patriots were beforehand. They start off the season 0-1, go 0-1, and now they're in the Super Bowl and they won 9-0. How do you flip it quickly so fans can be behind it? You know, it's a little different. They literally, that's going yeah. They bring a paper to the ball. Right, it's there to some utilizations that about it was so they have to have the coaching machine. I'm actually saying I'm making a note and showing one. He's got something have to do for head coaches. You know, if you need finance, and this prejudice. The bigger so everybody gets your job. It's not resistance. It's natural. It's a lot. I know. And really, outside that you get a week out, so they don't put into the limits. And you lose the game. So you weather the storm something, and then you have to make sure I ain't going to jack and like the ocean 3 minutes. People look at the car, it's tough things. And the last name, I didn't play you there. Felt like no. They never found one more staying. Both with St. Things that each fellowship on Josh Allen with Josh Allen. More interceptions and 4 turnovers in the last game. I was saying what he's doing right from the game. It's off the back. Because he's still taking many organization and now they don't run up the gas. If you have to help with the community that inject in them going with stay in the coverage and come up on our see. I'm saying to get to a dude that's patient right before they watch the stadium on hill. That's you tell me and work every day and watch the stadium. Right. So was nice with goodness sign. So it's fine. Lot of savage. It's a good show. It's like unfortunate that game. See, going after the big stadium and they can finish the job. I'm really enjoying it. Well, to see you again, you had a big impact on your football career, and I feel like you're going to have a much bigger impact in the life. Thanks for doing this. I'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it. There he is. How about that? That Lorenzo Alexander up there. He even knows how to deal with the microphone. Thank you. That is beautiful. Beautiful. Put it down, Leslie. Thank you. All right, man. Everybody, here we go, Raider Nation. So here's what we got today. So we got a big show, and it's going to kind of be fluid. So I'll just say this again. If you can't hear the calls or you can't hear some of the people over the phone, I would download the Raiders mobile app. You should be able to have the Raiders mobile app and listen to the interviews. Tim Brown's going to join us. We're going to have Marcus Allen, and we're going to have really something good, special going on today. So if you want to hear the whole show in its entirety, today's not a great day for our YouTube feed. We're happy you're here. But it's on Raider Nation Radio, and I can't run around being tech support trying to get the camera perfect and get the audio perfect here. So if you like it, you like it. If you want to come back in a couple of days, go ahead and do that. But we got a busy show today. Tim Brown, Marcus Allen is gonna join us over the phone coming up here in a little bit, and we'll talk to them. And then we're going to get into the vibe of some of the other guests that I have lined up today. Jeff Garcia, former quarterback, will join us. I don't know what he's promoting, but he's going to come in at one point. And then we're going to have a really good time talking to Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen is going to join us at 1:05. And then after that, John Riggins, the Hall of Famer, formerly of the Washington Redskins, are going to check in. So I'm going to break early. When we come back on the other side, Tim Brown is going to call in. We'll talk to Timmy for a little bit about the new look Raiders. Timmy's always well-spoken. He'll have something to say. So that's coming up here. We want to thank Golden Entertainment as we're live from the Super Bowl, courtesy of PT's. If you're looking for a watch party, a place to go watch the pregame, 5 to 7, midnight to 2, 5 to 7 during the Super Bowl, half price drinks. You should be at a PT's near you as they kick off our show live from Radio Row. Perfect. All right, Clay, I want to double check. This is my mic. Make sure this not good. Tell me where I am. 42, 3, check, check. Good, right there. Good. And I'm going to do the guest right now. Guest microphone, hold on. Guest microphone, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Good. Clay, do you need a little bit more with this one or no? You got nothing? Hold on. I'm talking. How about this, Clay? Better. 1, 2, 3, good. All right, everybody. How am I sounding right now, Big D? Does this sound good? Is this workable the way this sounds? Good go, yes. Because again, this is going to be, right now it's pretty good. You're not going to be able to hear the guys over the phone. Just not going to be able to do it. I'm not even going to try to do it. So just try to figure it out. If you want to listen, we're going to have a lot of content here. You'll see a lot of cool things, but that's what we're doing. Right, 2 rounds, should we call them now?
Team like that. Other players on the team. 21. You said wait for practice to 14. It's 12.
Big D, tell me if you can hear this, Big D. Tell me if you can hear this.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877 Cars for Kids to reach your friendly live agent. Donations so easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
Tech support, my tech support guys, man. Okay, right. All right, just come right back to me.
Not worry. And let them know that.
Yes. LA.com. Truck you brought you up at the JT the Brick Show. Brought to you by PT. The best happy hour. Excuse me. Detains.
Dr. Siri, that likes.
JT back with you live from Radio Row. The Hall of Famer, Tim Brown, who joins me every year on Radio Row, and he does it over the phone. Timmy, thanks a lot for doing this. I'm sure we're going to see you on the ground big in the Bay Area. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I couldn't be better. It's a different Radio Row than years past. A little bit smaller here, a little bit more spread out. You know this marketplace pretty good, Timmy. They're trying to make everyone feel good in San Jose, Santa Clara, and San Francisco. It's hard to do that.
I'm like, you know, I'll give it to you. Keep it, enjoy it.
Hey, Timmy, there's a lot going on here. We can't make it official till Monday. You know how the Raiders like to be buttoned up with their announcements, but sources say all indications that it's going to be Clint Kubiak going back to his dad who won a Super Bowl. You know, you've been not outspoken. You've always been honest with me and Raider Nation. There's been a lot of turnover at head coach. Why could this work with a young offensive play caller?
Well, I think, he's going to get an opportunity, hopefully, to bring in a first.
I think you know, you know, one of the things that I guess is very, one, first, you know, one guy is a great come up with. So he was not, you keep there that, probably didn't mess up for good. You know, to read about new people, but that's what I didn't love the shit. Just I think,
Yeah, that's there you go. That's got to feel pretty good for you as it looks to be Mendoza with Marcus and Plunkett and you and all the other Heisman trophies, the fraternity in the history of the NFL coming out of college. That's a good thing, right? Because I don't think there's much to criticize with Mendoza going forward. He had one of the greatest postseasons ever after winning the Heisman Trophy. Yeah. Ooh. Lose Tim? I think we might have lost Tim. He's in San Francisco. He might have just cut out. So Clay will let me know if we can get him back here on the radio. He should call in again. So Tim was just with us, and we just lost Tim Brown. Again, man, I'm not an engineer, everybody. I'm trying my ass off. I've been here till 11 o'clock last night trying to get this thing right. We'll get Tim Brown tuned up here momentarily. But I like what Tim talked about with the opportunity to have another Heisman Trophy winner here and to have another Heisman Trophy winner that Tim and Marcus and Jim Plunkett can mentor, assuming Mendoza comes in, and Mendoza's the guy who played. So that's going to be a lot of fun here for Tim Brown. And as Tim said, Tim's very vocal from time to time. And Tim's in a situation where he gets to talk to Mark Davis and hear what he said. So, Tim, as you were saying, an opportunity to mentor Mendoza and to have a fit. And maybe you're in the building a lot when you come back to the games at Allegiant Stadium, not so much headquarters, to have a guy that in the past you could take under your wing and talk to. Wow.
I think back then was believe that we got equal to do everything he can possibly do there. And I think the rest of that one is a trade.
Tim, last one. The big story on Radio Row isn't the game. It's about Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft getting snubbed. And you and I were talking a lot while you were waiting to get into the Hall of Fame, and they made you wait way too long, along with Snake, Cliff, who passed away. Tom Flores was in a wheelchair when we celebrated him. And, I mean, these aren't Raiders, but come on. Belichick and Kraft, and Belichick not first ballot. Have you been talking about that with your fellow Gold Jacket guys? What's everybody saying?
I think, there are a lot of fans. I don't want them trying to mental hurt. They're seeing scandals that they were involved in. During that time or not. But whatever it is, I think everybody has to say it. So you get thrown in.
Got it, Tim. Hey, I know you're busy there. Say hi to my son. I'm very proud of him, as you know, and I'll make sure I'll see you while you're out here. I appreciate you doing this. Got it. There's Tim Brown as we open it here. The great Tim Brown as we kick it off here on Raider Nation Radio. So we got a couple of good sound bites from Timmy. It's about Mendoza and what he'd like to see going forward, the Hall of Fame vote and all of that. So Vinny Bonsignore is going to join us coming up here in a little bit. We'll get Vinny, and then Jeff Garcia, the former quarterback, is going to jump in. So if you want to get in today, we'll take your phone calls live from Radio Row, 702-365-9200, 702-365-9200 if you want to get in. There was a lot of NBA trades last night. Last night I was on the radio late, And we did a lot on the NBA trade deadline. James Harden going to Cleveland, the blockbuster deal that went down with the Utah Jazz. Well, we kind of want to sit here today and get everybody into the stream, see what we're doing here on Radio Row. And I know I keep talking about the weather, but I've been fascinated by it here in San Francisco. I had a beautiful day yesterday with a bunch of friends who got into town. Got a lot lined up. I'm going to have a toast with Joe Montana at 3:00 today. Joe and his staff invited me to a local favorite in Union Square for a Guinness. I'm not a Guinness guy. You know, I'm a Modelo guy. But I'm going to have a Guinness with him. So we'll get a chance to see Joe Montana and then rock out the rest of the week here with so much going on. So the Kubiak story, as I was on the Raiders set earlier today, is flying through here. Everybody's talking about it. So as we have to wait until Monday to make it official or Tuesday, I don't know when the press conference is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday. And I would expect the Raiders to have a big press conference coming up earlier in the week, next week. And we'll get an opportunity to talk to Clint Kubiak and get a vibe on what the Raiders are going to be doing going forward. In regards to the game, the momentum is picking up with the game in general. Everybody's excited to talk about this one. The line from the last I looked hasn't moved. Yes, I see right there, Big D. Anthony Davis traded to Cleveland this morning as Cleveland's going all in. In regards to the line move with the Super Bowl, that is 4.5. I told you, I think the line's going to go to Seattle -5 as we get closer to the game on Sunday. If not, if you're a Patriot fan, it's a good time to fire because the Patriots are fired up. They're upset about Robert Kraft. They don't lose on the road. This is a road game, and the team is totally jacked up to get it done. I'll bring in Clay Bacon, joins us from our sound deck, our studio at Lotus Broadcasting. And Clay, how'd you guys do today? What was the big topic on your show? Even though you're not at Radio Row, Vinny's here, and there's a lot of buzz around the Raiders and their coach. Yeah, I think that's interesting. I also believe a big part of this is going to be a defense and getting a cornerback and finding a way to get a corner on the edge, on the outside, who can do something and be a shutdown corner. Without a shutdown corner play and a better cornerback tandem out there, which has probably got to include a veteran along the way, the Raiders are just going to be developing cornerbacks depending on who their defensive coordinator is. And that's not good enough. They need a defense that's going to get off the field and get the ball back to Mendoza, Bowers, and Genti. Yeah, we're going to break again. We're going to come back with Vinny Bonsignore, who's going to join us coming up here in a few minutes. We'll talk to Vinny. We want to thank everybody who supports us here on the road. There's a lot. I want to start with the M Resort Spa and Casino. Man, San Francisco could use an M, a 2-tower M with gambling, restaurants. San Francisco could use the M Resort. We miss the M Resort, and we'll be back in Vegas next week. They're our proud partner at the Super Bowl. You build the promo breakers and they make the two things. So you have. All right, chat. We got Vinny Bonsignore coming up here right now. Good to see the chat. And I don't give a crap about James Harden. I think James Harden's a quitter, a load management fraud. What are you guys just checking in to check out hot chicks? Is that what you're doing on the YouTube? Just looking at the hottest chicks that come around? Maybe we should do that. Maybe you guys should give your thumbs up or your ratings when you like someone in the background. Here, you talked to Will about any Raiders here? Are there any current players?
Here, Ashley said, I haven't heard anything about that. That's weird.
I certainly. Okay.
So, bro, it's your stuff with Super Bowl.
It's that. Coach. Any buzz today? Anything else to learn?
So that's the right now. You've been signing the contract, so this is on the bad position. Let's do it. Use the next. Super. Fire them.
You doing it to Joe? They glad if that's what we're
We're gonna go over there. Yeah. All right.
that happened with you. That's why I will have make the put my camera on here, which they can see the cameras. Okay, we're ready for Vinny. Now it's good. And then when we go to Jeff Garcia, we just so much from biggest one. Off the line, off in the house, yeah, perfect.
Here, you think this guy in line?
Back to the 90s. Main Superman. Oh, so this is Minister's Law. And not in the book. But yeah, it's her fault. So he's so all right, that's Tim Brown, who just joined us, brought to you by the DeCastroverde Law Group. If you get into an accident or injured, the brothers win. Brotherswin.com. I'm thrilled I get to talk to Vinnie Bonsignore, my teammate here, live on Radio Row, because we've been doing this for a number of years. Now your position here with Raider Nation Radio, but the California Post feels like it's getting a big rollout this year.
Yeah, it's been great. It's the same. Yeah, they've been working out before. You got an army. It's great to see the teamwork. You've done great.
I think it's a perfect segue today for what you're doing because unfortunately Washington hurts cold. And I tell people this story for well over 10, 12 years. I read the same page and said, there's about 10 I read every day for me. One of them's Washington books because of all the legendary journalists that wrote there back in the day. I don't read it for the capitals and the stories there. I look for their natural storylines. What does this say about the future of journalism? If we're losing the writers that work at the Washington Post.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
it's unfortunately just Trump. And he doesn't know. But it also shows here towards the old. I know that in our race, sport, that's what it is. Whatever race it makes to me. So there's a lot of it is, you know, somebody was struggling for the dolls.
Vinny Bonsignore is our guest. It's not difficult to cover the way that you'll know the cuisine and stuff. It's got to be made efficient. We've covered that story as close as anything. What about the process and how Brady and Spy Tech and with marketing is flowing up here? They're pretty stealth about it, but you've got good sources. What did you learn about the process and how this is doing it?
Yeah, give them a lot of fun. It's the limit for until this will be and process. That's how you knock it. In time, like with graders, when Thomas that maybe successful to lock in the but it's maybe several third process, but all progress process. That wasn't the case this year, but it's which two minutes of reader should watch it. Big last warriors, but he said, let's go for sensible. That's why you know. And for now, I think that the results. Number one, I do use stuff that was in charts, but I don't think that they like with that. I'm saying that is our choice. Whatever way, I think it was one of the losses. Was a the process led to this decision and important. So I don't think it's place to a bunch of them.
I'm going upstairs. You need any?
Give it. You need this. Like or that's all I hear. One was. And so when I comments got back then is as a choice of the drum as it is. What is that supposed to be? What's the what's the it's been a bunch of people that let's see how I'm often telling the stories. Every day, 4 or 5 hours, I spoke to the kids and but it worked on policy, and I think all hands on my TikTok ready, it's big days, but it's all on the credit.
Vinny Bonsignore to wrap it up. So what happens next to the field in this coaches have? How difficult it is. We're assuming there'll be several from Seattle. That's part of being successful and being in the Super Bowl. But after that, how many good coaches are there around the league still looking for jobs so we can grab from others?
Yeah. No. You don't get this yeah, without having the framework. Yeah, that's basically guys that like we must lose out. Right. And that's actually a good thing when you think of why is it? Well, you have a lot of relationships from staffs all throughout the division. Coach the teams at one connections. Got a lot of connections to a lot of and access to a lot of benefits there. And I think that that's going to be seen as that was as unfolding.
Do you think it's going to be different from a later team you covered in the past in regards to how he handles potential media, what he's able to do? I'm looking forward to this. I don't need another rah-rah guy. I like the rah-rah guys. It's good for our content in the show. But if he's very cerebral and he's upstairs drawing up plays and meeting with his offense and then addressing the team, because I wouldn't call it criticism, but the people I've talked to in Seattle who we've had on the show this week say, well, he's kind of a quieter guy. He's not a John Gruden or an Antonio Pearson. I find that refreshing. I find that welcoming while this time.
And also, he could also be a mess. I think that is part of his understanding. But I think we're going to see more personal, express intelligence. Yeah. There's these guys who his dad was a coach, he was growing up on coach. I bet it's sport. He sometimes mindful this is not hockey. Not going to talk about it. I still talk about sure. A big catch. So again, it's just the responsibility of the circular. And we really do. So I'll be in my line. It'll be interesting to see once he has now access to all of it. Because he is in charge. If we're going to see more of that happen.
Last one. What'd you learn about Mark Davis and his process?
Yeah, I think it was the common word. And from the very end, so it was great. I'm not think over. He was still from Spanish and still right. Where this is second this watching too. That second feels as if the lot who the yeah, it's story. But you can see what you want. Yes. Right. She's going to have that. You like it. God, and what? In this game, now we're faced the space is on the fingerprints all over it. We don't like you want to be somebody that is as committed to getting us to the and guess part of it. It's not that we don't believe.
Did you put out a link for the game to the California Post and the ratings for the week?
I like Scout. Yeah. This is the night. And I don't think we're a second to look out any good 7 foot, especially because let's keep us close to it.
Thank you, Vinny. Good seeing you, everybody. That's Vinny Bonsignore. We appreciate him coming on here on Raider Nation Radio. When we come back, we're going to get into a conversation with Jeff Garcia on the other side. So Jeff Garcia, the former quarterback, will join us. He knows a lot about the Raiders. He knows a lot about the Niners, a lot about this market. Jeff Garcia joining us on the other side. Thanks to the 872 laborers led by Tommy White, building Vegas on time and on budget. Jeff Garcia coming up next. Thanks, Vinny. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to try something according to my son. We're probably going to bail. We're probably just going to do video only. You should be able to figure this out and listen to it. Listen to it on the Raiders app and watch the fucking show. That's all I can tell you, man. Everybody is bitching and moaning about the audio not being great. We're in a freaking convention center. We're in a convention center. It's not going to be perfect. So that's it. What we're going to do is we're going to take the audio out. We're going to keep the live stream here. If you'd like to watch the show and listen, it should be really easy to do that by just opening up the Raiders mobile app or going to LV Sports Network and listening, and then you can watch it all here. How does that sound? So I don't have to look at this freaking audio complaint for the next 20 minutes. Have a good day.